What makes an avoidant choose a partner? Most people assume avoidant partners choose relationships based on distance, convenience, or emotional safety, but the truth is far more complex. Avoidants don't choose partners the same way secure people do. They don't sit there thinking about compatibility, long-term dreams, or deep connection. Instead, they pick people who feel safe enough to love them, distant enough not to overwhelm them, and stable enough to remain predictable. To understand what makes an avoidant choose someone, you have to understand how their nervous system works in relationships. Their entire attachment system is wired around avoiding emotional overload. So they're constantly scanning, not for love, but for safety. And the moment someone makes them feel emotionally cornered, demanded from, or overly pursued, they retreat. But when someone makes them feel free, calm, and respected in their autonomy, that's the moment an avoidant person starts to choose. At the core of avoidant attraction is something people rarely talk about. They are drawn to partners who don't feel like a threat to their independence. This doesn't mean they want someone cold or detached, but they gravitate toward individuals who are emotionally composed, self-sufficient, and not easily shaken by uncertainty. Avoidants choose partners who don't explode with emotional demands or drown them in expectations. To an avoidant, calm is attractive. Emotional self-control is attractive. Someone who doesn't need reassurance every 5 minutes becomes magnetic. They choose people who can stand on their own because deep down, they fear being responsible for someone else's emotions. So when they meet someone who is stable in themselves, someone who can love without clinging, it instantly lowers their defenses, and for the first time, they actually move toward the connection instead of away from it. Another surprising factor that makes an avoidant choose a partner is respect. Avoidants choose people who respect their boundaries without punishing them for having needs that look different. If someone reacts with anger every time the avoidant needs space, they shut down and start distancing. But when a partner gives them space without emotional punishment, no guilt tripping, no drama, no, why are you ignoring me? The avoidant feels safe to come closer. It sounds backward, but giving them space creates closeness. They are drawn to people who understand that emotional space doesn't mean emotional rejection. And ironically, the partner who doesn't chase them during withdrawal becomes the one they chase. Avoidants also choose partners who have a strong internal world, people who have a sense of purpose, hobbies, passions, and ambition. They cannot handle a partner who makes them the center of their emotional universe. That level of dependence feels like pressure. So when they meet someone who has depth, someone who can entertain themselves, someone who isn't waiting for them to fill a void, they feel a rare and intoxicating type of admiration. They choose partners who are interesting, not needy, partners who have their own life story unfolding, not someone desperate to be written into theirs. And when you are a person who brings richness, complexity, and curiosity into your own life, an avoidant doesn't just choose you, they respect you. Now here's a deeper layer. Avoidants choose partners who don't expose the parts of themselves they're afraid to face. Avoidants carry hidden emotional bruises, fear of vulnerability, fear of depending on someone, fear of being abandoned, and fear of being seen too deeply. They choose partners who make intimacy feel less threatening. Someone who listens without interrogating, someone who understands without cornering them, someone who notices their withdrawal without turning it into drama. Avoidants choose partners who make emotional intimacy feel like a gentle invitation, not a demand. Partners who show softness, not pressure, compassion, not control. And when they feel understood instead of judged, that's when the avoidant begins to let their guard down. One of the most powerful magnets for an avoidant is emotional maturity. They choose partners who don't collapse under emotional stress. If someone is overly reactive, volatile, or unpredictable, the avoidant instantly feels unsafe. Their childhood wounds taught them to protect themselves from emotional chaos. So when they find someone emotionally grounded, someone who stays calm during disagreement, someone who expresses feelings without spiraling, someone who communicates with clarity, they feel something they rarely feel: trust. And trust for an avoidant is the foundation of choosing a partner. It's not love that opens their heart first, it's safety in your emotional maturity. Another trait that makes an avoidant choose a partner is subtle confidence. Not loud confidence, not arrogance, not someone who constantly needs validation, but quiet self-assurance. A partner who moves through the world with ease, who doesn't over-explain themselves, who doesn't chase approval, who doesn't crumble under rejection. This kind of presence is deeply attractive to avoidance. It signals strength without aggression, independence without coldness, and availability without desperation. Avoidants choose partners who are sure of themselves because that certainty makes the relationship feel steady, not consuming. When you don't need the avoidant to fill an emotional gap, they naturally start filling it on their own. Avoidants are also drawn to consistency, not routine, but emotional consistency. If you are stable in how you speak, how you respond, and how you show up, without becoming clingy, they begin to trust your presence. Avoidants choose partners who don't make them guess, who don't flip between hot and cold, who don't weaponize silence, and who don't make everything a test. Emotional consistency feels like safety. And when you offer safety, the avoidance instinct to run finally quiets down. But perhaps the most surprising thing that makes an avoidant choose a partner is the one thing they will never admit. They choose partners who feel like home. Not the chaotic home of their past, but the home they wish they had. Someone who brings peace, not pressure. Someone who brings warmth, not overwhelm. Someone who brings connection, not chaos. On the surface, they may act detached or uninterested, but underneath that armor is a longing. Yes, a longing for a love that feels safe. A love that doesn't demand that they tear down all their walls at once, but gently shows them that they don't need those walls anymore. So what makes an avoidant choose a partner? Someone who is independent but warm, present but not clingy, emotionally grounded but not emotionally cold, someone who respects their space but still shows genuine interest, someone who can offer intimacy without suffocating them, and patience without neglecting themselves. An avoidant chooses a partner who helps them relax into love instead of run from it. And here's the secret. They don't choose based on effort. You can't chase them into choosing you. Avoidants choose based on emotional tone. They choose based on energy. They choose based on how you make their nervous system feel. If you make them feel pressured, they disappear. But if you make them feel peaceful, they choose you. If you make them feel suffocated, they detach. But if you make them feel understood, they open up. If you make them feel like your happiness depends on them, they shut down. But if you make them feel free and respected, they move toward you. The truth is, avoidants do choose love. They just choose it slowly, quietly, and cautiously. They choose when they feel safe, not when they feel pursued. They choose when they feel respected, not when they feel demanded. And they choose when the relationship becomes a sanctuary instead of a battlefield. So if you truly want to understand what makes an avoidant choose a partner, remember this. It's not about being perfect. It's about being calm, secure, emotionally aware, and self-possessed. That combination is rare, powerful, and irresistible to an avoidant. Because in the end, even avoidants crave love. They just need someone who shows them that love doesn't have to cost them their freedom.